And I'm going to share my screen. Okay. No, that's not what I want to show you. Okay, let me log in into MyCC again. Okay, here we are. Sorry about that. I had the wrong school. Okay, can you see MyCC? Are you seeing the MyCC dashboard?
Actually, no.
I'm seeing your screen, but not my CC.
So let me see what's happened here. Let's stop sharing again. Do it again, see what happened. Are you seeing now?
No.
You not see anything at all?
We see your screen, but it's the Zoom settings we see.
I think you have a few windows open and maybe it's behind some of those, or it's not centralized.
No, it should be on this thing here. So I don't know what's going on here. But okay, I'll move here. Close there.
Yeah, now
It should be on the other.
Now I can see it.
That doesn't make any sense. Okay, I'll use this screen then. Okay, so I'm going to show you what do we have coming. Okay, so that's probably week 13. This is last week. So on 11/29, let me see if this is anything before. No. Okay, 11/23, that's the first. Okay, we have a quiz. That's right before Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is on the 25th. So the quiz is basically, if you read the book, the sections they cover social media, paid search, and email marketing, plus watch the videos, because I'm going to post all the videos there. You should have no trouble doing the quiz. It's a very simple quiz. So as you know, it's an open book. So have your all notes with you, and you can do it on that same week. So it will be open a few days before. So anytime between the period that's open, just check on that week. Let me see how I set up this to make sure that I have this. So I didn't open yet, but I'll open that. You know what? Why don't I open just now? It's open. So it's open. So anytime you want to do it, you can go and do it. But of course, you need to prepare yourself before you go and do it. It's a multiple choice quiz. Yeah, it's ready to go now. So this is now on, and you have to do it by, let me see, what is that? No. Yeah, by the 29th.
Is it timed?
It is timed, yes, but you have, I'll tell you in a minute. Because the average should be 40 seconds per, let me see what the time is. You have 20 minutes. So you have, I don't know, many questions. You have more than a minute per question. It's just multiple choices, no writing. You just read and select the answer. It's only 4 answers per question. 1 is right, the other 3 are wrong. So all you have to do is answer 1. Click on 1 and you go. And all the information that you have, you'll see on the book, on some of the PDFs that I told you to read, or the videos. So everything will be there. So any questions? Okay. And then we have another one that it's not open yet. That's what I talked to you. I'll be talking about this next week. Will be the metrics that we need to know for digital marketing, like click-through rate, open rate, conversion rate, things like that. And I'll show you. I'll go over every single one of the metrics and how to calculate each one. And the test that I have, it's only very simple. It's a spreadsheet. All you have to do is make the calculation on a spreadsheet. But I'll have an example next week. I'll go over all the metrics. Then at the end, I'll have an example of how the test would be conducted. And then the last one is the HubSpot inbound marketing certification. Anybody has tried to take that test?
I took the test and I got 37 out of 60. I'm sorry, 40. Yeah, 37 out of 60. I didn't do very good.
Okay, so at least you know how the questions are. And just review again and do it again. You know that you only have to wait 12 hours before you repeat the test. So you can repeat as many times as you want. Just save the best score. Take a screenshot and send that to me.
Okay.
So right now you have 37. I mean, probably I'm not saying, I'm sure you're going to get much better than that on the next time.
Well, I need 7 for the minimum. That is 45. That's what you said. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna do better than that.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll do better. Okay, so this is all we have for the assignments. So there's 3 assignments till the end of the week, till the end of the semester. And today I'm going to be talking about a subject. So let me. So are you seeing the presentation?
Yes.
I don't know why I got it, so I should start from the beginning. I'm sorry. I don't know why it started at the middle. Okay, let's go. So today, as I mentioned to you, we're going to be talking about mobile marketing. So what is mobile marketing? Mobile marketing is any digital marketing that you do through mobile. It could be an application, could be CMS, could be MCS. So I'll go over that in a second. We know today that 46% of all search are local. So what I mean by local, so if you are looking for a gas station near you, you go into mobile and try to find gas station near me. So most of mobile marketing, it's done locally. If you are in a range of, in a radius of like 10 miles from a business, you might be getting some notifications, some advertising from that business. So mobile marketing, mostly done for local marketing. So we know that 70% of, so I should start by saying that today you should have a mobile, I mean, a website that's mobile friendly, that's responsive, that can be seen well in any devices. So when you have you are accessing a website through your smartphone, that has to be responsive, because we have data that shows that most people are accessing now websites into search on their mobile devices, not on the desktop, not on the laptops. So mobile device is the #1 device that people are using to access information about, you know, any kind of a search. Imagine, I'm pretty sure, like myself, you are sometimes in a store and you see a product and you want to see the reviews of that product because you don't know much about that product. So you take your smartphone, do a review right on spot, check the product, and then you make a decision if you're going to buy the product or not. So a lot of people are using mobile devices to do search. So if you have a bad experience on mobile devices, you probably don't engage with that company. If they don't have a website that's mobile friendly, your first reaction is not, if you know that it's not mobile friendly, and you don't even go there. But if you try to access and you look at that website on your smartphone and it's not easy to navigate, you're just going to exit without visiting any other page. So 70% of users prefer mobile friendly devices. A bad experience with the engagement with the company is enough for you not to go back there again. So 50%, let's say 50% of people say when they have a bad mobile experience, they're less likely to engage with the company again. So the time that people spend on mobile devices are huge today. So 65% of emails is first open on smartphones. 66% of people check their phones approximately 46 times a day. That's an average. We check for messages, we check for emails, and we check for something else. 65% of all email is first, oh, that's a repeat, I'm sorry. So actively engage with your audience. So if you have an app, send a notification when it's relevant. So every time that you advertise it to notification, and I'll cover that in a second, so you don't have to worry too much about what notification is. Notification basically is some message that you get on your phone. If you subscribe to a, like say, Welp, let's say a restaurant where you can book tables or restaurant like Open Table. So if you subscribe to that, and if you are in the radio of a restaurant that is advertising locally, you might get a notification from them, from that restaurant, if your mobile phone is set up to receive notification. So a lot of times when you install an application on your website, on your smartphone, one of the questions they ask you if you are willing to share the location. If you say no, they're not going to be able to send you a notification. But if you say yes, the notification. Sometimes you can even say yes if I'm on that application. So you have an option to decide if you want to get notification or not. So let's move on about the power. So 82% of phone users turn their phone inside of a store. I've talked about this already to make purchase decision. 86% of mobile users say they're more likely to buy from a mobile friend site. That's true. If you go to a website to make a purchase, and if it's complex, you end up not making a purchase there. You probably go back home if you need that product and you finish the transaction on desktop. But sometimes if the website is mobile friendly and nice to navigation, you probably finish the transaction right on your mobile. I do that. Probably some of you are also doing that as well. So we talked about search. So majority of people are doing search through mobile devices than any other device. 7% of people worldwide who access internet or so, they have a mobile device. This is just some statistics. I'm not going to read it all because there's so many. So this is interesting because 91% of people keep their phone all the time by around 3 feet from themselves. So I'm one of those persons. Okay. So another interesting metric is this: it takes 26 hours for an average person to report a loss of a wallet. But if you lose your phone, in 68 minutes, you are reporting your phone to your service provider. So look at this graphic here. And you see here, late night, in the morning, see if you see the 3 devices here. This is mobile. This is a tablet. And this is desktop. So in the morning, people getting up, most people are accessing right from 7 a.m. probably to 8 a.m. The phone is the most used device during that period. Then it's starting to go down. Right here, desktop takes over. This is about 9 o'clock. And that tells you that probably because people are now at work and they are on their desktop computers. So most likely, they're starting to use their desktop computer to access internet. But again, at night, it's interesting that the tablet is a device most used at night. The phone goes up and the desktop goes down. So during work hours, most people are using desktop. But in the morning and at night, most people are using small devices like tablets, iPads, or other tablets, or iPhones or Android phones or whatever. This is a funny story, you know. They have a new term for people who lose phone. They call it mobophobia. That actually is a term that's fears of being without your phone. And I know people are so attached to their phone today, if they lose their phone, they panic. And we depend so much on the phone that today it's one important part of our daily lives to have our phones with us. I don't think most of us cannot function today if we don't have our phones with us. So this is another interesting metrics. Despite the growing of mobile phone usage, a lot of consumers still finish the purchase on desktop. This is because probably they don't trust to put the credit cards on mobile phones, and they prefer to make sure that they are on their desktop in order to put the credit card information there. That's probably one of the reasons. But it's a fact that a lot of people start the purchasing on mobile, but then when it gets to putting the information for credit card or payment information, they prefer to do that on their desktop. So they can do by, website sometimes, if, like I said, if your website is fully optimized for mobile, maybe it's easier to do that and probably incites the people, the user, to finish the transaction right there. And they feel more comfortable doing that.
I have a question, Professor.
Yeah.
Do you think it's more safe to use the phone to buy things than the computer, the desktop?
So the question is, again, I'm sorry, I missed the first.
you think it's safe
Oh, it
to
is
get-
safe
to
to use
buy
your phone.
to buy things through the phone rather than the computer? I think
Yeah.
that my computer is more exposed to be hacked.
Yeah,
on my
I think
phone.
it's safer. To me, I mean, it's much safer to have your phone because the phone is with you all the time, and it's harder to hack your phone than it's a computer. Computer, most hackers, they know how to hack a computer, but just a few, and they have to make sure. I mean, just a few are able to hack a phone, and when they hack a phone, is because they send you some sort of a message that you respond, and then you get some cookies on the phone, and then they'll be able to hack. But it's more difficult to hack a phone than a computer. So it's, to me, it's safer to do a transaction using your phone than using your desktop. So any mobile marketing plan should start with your website. Your website should be the hub of your marketing activities. So you need to have a good website, and a website that's responsive, meaning that you can access, anybody can access that through smartphone devices or iPads, and it's easy to navigate. So we have two ways of creating a responsive website, a website that's mobile friendly. One is to create two different websites, one for desktop and another one just for mobile. It would be like a lighter version of your website for mobile. And this was done when people started to use mobile device, I would say 10 years ago. Most companies create like a version of a website, very robust website for desktop. Then they create like a light version for mobile devices. Today, no need to do that. Actually, there is a way for you to create a very robust website for desktop that also can be used on mobile devices. That's what we call a responsive design website, a website that can be visualized in any devices. So you don't have to create two different websites anymore. So this is a website that's probably created just for mobile devices. Usually, I would say 10 years ago, about 5 years ago now, nobody does that anymore. When you create a website, there is a way to create a website that's fully responsive, can be seen on desktop, on smartphones, I mean, on tablet, and also on smartphones. And everything collapses. The thing is, when you have a long page, it takes a little longer to scroll. So it's much easier to read if you have that. So look at, so go ahead.
I'm sorry, I have another question. Sorry if I interrupted.
No. That's it's good. Anytime you need it, you just.
What program do you use to design your web pages? Do you use like an external company like Wix, or you use like something like Dreamweaver? Those programs?
Yeah, Dreamweaver is a software by Adobe for you to create websites. You don't need that. That's for developers. So what you need, so if you need to create a website, there is some options of it out there. One, you can go to Wix, or you can go to Squarespace, and they have different templates there that you can pick. It's very easy to create a website. But I advise you, if you are a small company or probably a professional that don't need a lot of features, all you need is to be present on the website, those platforms, Wix or Squarespace, are okay. But if you are a company with you want a robust website with many features, and you want to control what type of features you want, so you probably better off go to GoDaddy.com or HostGator and sign up for a server and for a host there, and then you can use platforms like WordPress, Drupal, and other to create a website. Those platforms, you don't need to be a programmer or a developer to create a website using those platforms. All you need is to follow the steps to install that, and then select a template, and then you're starting to create your website. And if you do that, then you are in full control of your website. So you don't depend on Wix to, because Wix keeps updating their features every so often. But if you need something special for your website to do, if Wix doesn't have it, oh, too bad, because you cannot just hire a developer to go on Wix and do some work, because that's a platform that Wix provides. So it's limited. Like I said, it's good if you are a professional, and all you need is to be showing your portfolio. Or if you are a photographer, for example, if you are an artist, show a portfolio. If you have a small company, yes, maybe it's fine to do Wix or Squarespace.
So you can do it directly with WordPress, or you have to do it through GoDaddy and use the template.
Yeah, see, GoDaddy, what you need is a hosting provider.
Yeah.
So you go to GoDaddy and you sign up, because now they have a package for you to sign up for a WordPress hosting program. So it's very easy to install. Or you can go to HostGator and do the same. So you need three things. One is buy a domain name, then get a server hosting provider, and then you have to make a decision if you want to do by Drupal or WordPress, because they provide you those things. So when you, let's say you go to GoDaddy and you subscribe to a service there, a hosting service, but you need to have a domain name as well, a domain name for your company, like say whatevercompany.com. So you need to buy that as well. And that you buy that, it's not really buy, you are renting, because you go and you see if there is any domain that you want, the name is available. So you select that, and then you have to pay every year a year fee, about $15 per year. You have a domain name. And then on the platform, on the dashboard that GoDaddy or HostGator gives you, you select, okay, I want to create a website on WordPress. You select that and you install, then you start right away. It's very easy. And they have videos there to show you how to proceed step by step.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's look here at two websites. And this website on the left here, it's a non-responsive website. So what happens here, if the website is not responsive, all the website shrinks to fit within the screen of a smart device. So, and then it becomes very hard to read because the type is so small. So this is like a large website on desktop that's been shrink to fit on smartphones. So it does not adapt to smartphones. It just shrinks everything on size. So this is the same website that's mobile responsive. As you can see, the title here becomes big. This line that you see here breaks down in two. So you can see well, there's 8 squares here, buttons, just collapse in 4. And this paragraph that you see here, this is here. So if you want to see the rest, you have to scroll. But everything is readable, so you don't have to try to enlarge with your fingers. You can read this and then you scroll. This is when you find the website is fully responsive, and this one is not. You understand the difference now? Good, let's keep going. So let's talk different types of mobile marketing that we can do. So we have CMS and MMS. I suppose you know what CMS means. I'll talk about that in a second. So then application. If you have a company, if you need an application, you have to create an application for your company, web application, web app, they call it. Then there's a in-game advertising that you can also do. QR codes, I'll cover that in a second. Location-based marketing. I'm going to cover all these items in a second. So this is all the things that you can do in marketing to use mobile. So let's start with the first one, CMS. CMS, anybody wants to take a guess, stands for?
Messages, text message.
Yeah, it's text message. It stands for short message service. So that's CMS. So it's a good way to do marketing. People actually sometimes take advantage of CMS marketing. Some companies do, some don't. I mean, I know Starbucks does that. If you sign up in their CMS list, you get some sometimes if you walk close to the store, you may get like a notification with some deals from them, so you can walk in and purchase a coffee or a beverage. So let's just go to some of the stats here. So 98% of the CMS messages are read. This is true because emails, you don't get 98% of emails people to read your 98%. You're lucky if you get like, if you send an email marketing, you're lucky if you get like 20, 25%. CMS, because we don't get a lot of CMS marketing, probably once we get that, it's like a message from your friend, but it's a CMS, and 98% of those messages are open. 98, that's a huge number. So 19% of CMS, that's click to rate. That's when they open and click. So 18% of the ones who open that email, that message will click in a link. So if there is a survey, a very short survey, if you know the company, 20% of the people that get that survey, they actually submit the survey. Another thing that's interesting, if you have like coupons, people 10 times more to redeem that coupon than on the print. So it's a good way to do marketing. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go through the process, how it's done, but I'm pretty sure you all know this, but I'll cover that here. See, a company that has CMS, they usually have what they call the short code number. It's like a phone number, but it's a short code number. So they send you a text. If you are on their list, if they have your cell phone number, they send you a text. For example, here, initially they send it like with a, in a way that probably most teenagers know how to interpret this, but some people probably don't understand some of the things here. So for example, Pizza Capers Cavern Grove, that's a company. It's Valentine's Day. Reply Yum 13 in the next 8 minutes and get a free dessert calzone plus a chance, see, to win. Great, see how they put great, GR8, great prizes. Reply Yum 13 or Stop 13 to opt out. So Yum 13, if you really want to get that deal. STP 13 is like to opt out. So you don't want any more conversation with them. So if they send this email and if you repeat, like they ask you, Yum 13, you just type that, send, then you get a message right after, immediately, say congrats. So then this message tells you, take this message to their store and you get whatever they offer you for free or whatever deal they offer you on that thing. So this is the way usually it works. So, but in order to do this, you need to have a service provider. They will give you the short code. And then you need to have also a list of subscribers. You have to have your customers there with your phone number. And it's always good to try to get this organically. Don't just starting to spam them with message because that could be annoying. So there is many ways to entice people to sign up on your. Starbucks, they do a good job. They get a lot of subscribers by just offering a coffee with the first sign up or offer something.
So you need a company like a server for this service?
Yeah, a service. I'll cover that in a second. I'll show you some of them, and I'll go through an example of a company that provides a service called SlickText. There's many, but I have a video here of SlickText. They show you how you proceed. So usually you offer something for free, and you will most likely to get a deal. And then you got to deliver some interesting value to them. So for example, I'm going to show one way of getting somebody in your list. So if you have like a coffee shop or restaurant and you have some sort of a message at the door, get a free soda by joining our CMS club. So you text Rick to this number. This is the short code that the company, service provider gives you as a company. So you have a number. It's like a phone number. So if somebody types Rick's on this number, he subscribes. Then with this, when you subscribe, he gets a coupon to get that free soda. This is a good way for you to build up a list of clients, so you can start targeting them with some message. But just when you target them, just make sure that you provide value to them. Don't annoy them with things they don't care about. A lot of companies are doing that. Even, if you see another one here, text flavor to this short code, the text is this, and you'll get a 7-Up, some information. So there's so many. I'll show you like pizza. Text pizza to this number. This is the short code. If you text pizza, put this number, send, you probably get some sort of a deal here. Another one here. This is many ways. So you text offer to that particular short code and you get a deal. So tell me if you can listen, because sometimes I have trouble people listen to the sound of videos that I play here. Just let me know if you can hear the sound of this video.
Bobby here from
I can hear.
slicktext.com.
Okay, good.
Board. And in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to set up your account and get running in 5 minutes or less. So the first thing you want to do is reserve a text word. From the dashboard here, you can click on text words or view my text words. They all go to the same spot. On the text words page, we're going to click on the green button that says set up a new text word. On the next page, we're going to set up a text word, also referred to as a keyword. A text word is a word, 2 words, or a phrase. With SlickText, you can include spaces too. It's a very advanced system. So usually when you set up a text word, you might use the business name, an acronym, or a buzzword that represents your product or service. I'm going to use the word burger. And from the use case here, you have 3 different categories that you can use these types of services. The first one here is marketing. That implies that you're going to send text messages from a business to consumer standpoint with offers. An example of that would be show this text for 50% off or receive 1 free appetizer. The second category here is alerts and notifications. This would include churches, radio stations, or universities. They simply want to send cancellations, emergency alerts, and updates. No marketing messages included. The third category is for real estate agents, people who have an app that wants you to text to download. And in this category, people will text to receive a response called an auto reply. But after they receive that message, there will be no future messages being sent to them. So this is only for text to download or text for info. I'm going to select the marketing category. I'm just going to simulate setting this up for a business. And the third box here is called the frequency. This is the number of messages that your subscribers can expect to receive per month. I'm just going to put a 4 in here. That's pretty good for a restaurant. And I'm going to grab this text word. Next, let's set the auto reply. The auto reply is a confirmation message that your subscribers get back once they join your list. And again, this is for a restaurant. And a few things I want to showcase real quick while we're on this page. Number 1, we have a mobile coupon feature. That's what this link is. Beautiful coupon that folks can go to and redeem an offer if you're a business. This is what it looks like on their phone. And then this little feature here is called a dynamic expiration date. You'll notice on the right side here in the live example, it says expires 8/29. And how you can change the expiration is you simply change the number inside here. So I can make this auto reply expire 10 days later and so forth. So now we have our auto reply in place, we simply hit the green button that says Save Auto Reply. Your next steps are to start advertising your list. And we're going to go to the home page now and create a sign-up flyer. So click on the purple button here that says Create Sign-up Flyers. On the next page here, we have two options. These are 8.5 by 11, so you can do 4 per page or 1. I'm going to select the large flyer. On the next page here, you can customize your flyer. You can pick the colors and also decide what you want it to say. Once you're done customizing, click the green button that says Generate Flyer. It will download to your desktop. Once you download it, you can open that and print it off a normal printer. And that's what it looks like. So this is a quick setup tutorial for you guys. Pretty simple, quick and easy. If you guys have questions, simply...
Okay, any questions on that video? That's one company, there's so many. So this is, I mean, more or less what that company charges. So you got like $49 per month. On the go means, you know, depends how much you spend a day. So you don't have a monthly fee. It's just if you use, you pay. If you don't use, you don't pay. So this is every company has different setups, but it's not that expensive if you're really serious doing this. Then there is also what we call MMS, which it's all SMS. It's like SMS, but you send also images. It's not just text. You send images like coupons, like one you see here. Yeah, people can take a look. So example of MMS, it's like this, and then you have a coupon that you can redeem at the store. So best practice. So make sure that if you do SMS, that you're offering your customers high value, because otherwise they'll get annoyed and they unsubscribe. Create always a sense of urgency, meaning don't just put things there, text, say, hey, text by certain hours, by tonight or by tomorrow. Giving some urgency, a sense of urgency, always prompts people to say, oh, if I wait too long, I'll better do it now because then I'll lose this deal. It's always good to put that information. And then try to make that very personalized text message. Offer incentives to sign up, as I show you a few ways to do that. You know, you offer a drink, whatever. If they text you and put the number, they'll sign up, they get a free drink, so they end up on your list. Then you can keep marketing them through CMS every so often. Oh, you got to use the numeric vanity shortcode. Shortcode I show you, you know, it's the number. So company, those service provider will give you that to you. And then another thing is you got to track if it's working or not. So like any digital marketing, the end of it is tracking. See the metrics. See if it's really paying off your efforts. So the ROI. So these are examples of different service providers. There's many more out there. I'm just giving you a few examples here. Now let's talk about mobile application. So your business may not need an application. Not all business will need an application. Actually, most business do not need to have an application because it's very expensive to create. And if you spend all that money and people are now using, it's not worth doing. But again, you have to think that probably because you don't have an application, people are using some applications to find you. And this is like applications like Weld, Angels List, and others. Application like Open, I mean, they probably, you don't know, but you probably there already. Sorry. I'm sorry, just I need just to send a message very quick. Give me just 10 seconds. Okay, sorry about that. So you have to understand that there's so many applications out there, and for people to install as many applications on their phone, they try to streamline because applications take space on your smartphone, and you cannot just keep adding applications. So taking that in consideration, myself and yourself, you only have an application on your smartphone if you're going to use it. If you're not going to use it in a daily basis, on a weekly basis, you're probably not going to, even if you install, you're going to disinstall it. So you got to make sure that but again, there's applications out there that you want to be part of it. Not you create an application, but be listed in some other application. Like if you have a travel agency, 40% of people worldwide are using applications like TripAdvisor, Expedia, even Booking, Trivago on their phone to book rooms. So if you have or book rooms or book traveling, if you are in the travel business, you probably want it to be listed there so they can find you, so you can have business through them. If you're a restaurant owner, I mean, you probably want to be on these applications here. And Instagram, it's always a good thing because a lot of people, it's an application that people post dishes that you have. It's, as you know, Instagram, it's all about images. So if you are a home improvement business, I mean, AngelList is you want to be listed there. Home Advice is another one. Pinterest, there's so many. So you got to find, depending on your business, you might have an application out there that you don't have to create for yourself, but you can just make sure that you are listed there. So you have to make sure that if you're listed on those applications, those are mostly if you do local business, like if you're a home improvement, you don't care if people are going to find you. If you're in Boston, people are going to find you in New York. You want people to find you around Boston. So this is all locally. This is what we call local listening. So this is the list. You got to make sure that sometimes people, you get listened without knowing. So you have to go there and you have to optimize your listen, like put more information, like contact information, hours you are open, and so on. So it's all good stuff for you if you have local. So I'm just going to go quickly through this. Travel, include as many details possible about property if you rent houses for Airbnb. So take nice photos of your property, of your apartment, and just post it there. If you're in a restaurant, what do you do? This is for traveling, Airbnb. See, they have all the steps. If you have an apartment that you want to rent through Airbnb, you can do that. In the restaurants, make sure that you also go in those lists like Yelp and try to make sure that all your information is there, because sometimes Yelp would put your restaurant there listed, but without any information, but you have access to go there and complete the information that's there. And you have an option to put some photos of the dishes, the main dishes that you provide. So there's companies out there that they have their business 100% on applications like Uber and Lyft. So most of us, even though I don't use Uber probably once, twice a month, if that, but I still have that because once I need it, I want to have the application with me, either Uber or Lyft. So I have that application. So the good thing about application, people can get to you very soon. I mean, it's easy to use. It's nice to do push notification, nice to advertise. It's a good way to marketing, but it costs quite a bit. How much does it cost? Can cost from $5,000 to $500,000. Depends on how complex is your application. It's a very expensive, and that's for iPhone. Then if you need one for Android, you got to create two applications there because the same application does not work on both devices. So it's an expensive process. So you got to, as a company, you got to think, do I really need an application? So that's the question that you have to ask yourself. Now, let's go over some of the things that you have to ask yourself in order to make a decision at the end if you need an application or not. Will an application make the life of your customers better? Are they going to use it? It's something like, imagine you probably have an application for your bank, so you use that, so you know that it's useful. But if you have an application that you not make anything better for your customers, they can do the same on the website. So why create an application just because other people have it? So you got to ask that question to yourself. So another thing, you look at your competitors, see if they have application, how successful they are with their application. Maybe you don't know if it's successful, but if all your competitors have an application, maybe there is a need for you to have an application, because if they have it, but it doesn't mean that you need to have it. You got to investigate to make sure that it's worth for you to spend that money in develop an application, an app. So do your users need to scan information on the go? So if they are remote, do they need information that you may provide? Like, I don't know, you got to think about your business, say, okay, is that something they need to access when they are outside? Maybe yes, maybe not. Do they have to complete tasks like booking appointments, make payments with your application? If yes, maybe it's a good sign that you probably need an application. Can do things like, I mean, can they do the same thing through existing application like OpenTable, Angeli, if you're a restaurant? So do you need an application, or probably you can take advantage of other applications like I described a while ago, OpenTable, Angelis, and other things like that. Then will you be able to keep the application up to date? Because you're going to spend, let's say, $50,000 to develop an application. And then you got to keep that, because don't forget, iPhones and Android, they always have new versions. And sometimes when they put a new version out there of the operating system, your application has to be optimized in order to respond well when work under those new operating systems. So if everything is good here, then yes, go ahead and make an application. But if some of those answers are negative, maybe there is no need for you to have an application. So you got to ask yourself, do I need an application or not, before you spend? Today, people are a little more conscious of that. I would say 5 years ago, everybody wanted an application. So I had clients come to me, oh, I need an application. I would ask those questions to make sure that they're not going to throw money away. And then at the end, they'd say, nah, maybe I don't need an application. So as I mentioned, you got to an application to be, because majority of people today use Androids than iOS. Maybe United States have, I'm not sure about that. Now, iOS is still bigger here than the Android. But if you go to like Asia or Africa, Android must be probably #1 there. So if you need to create an application, okay, you can go through a developer, contract a developer to create that. And you have also some mobile application service providers like Salesforce, DropSource, and PyPI. No, PyPI, that's what it is. And you can subscribe, and they have templates for you to create an application. Very simple application, nothing complex. That you'll save money if you do it this way. Now, there is a new trend out there. It's called a website that works very similar with application. It's called the Progressive Web Application. So let's watch this video for a second.
Hi there and welcome to your Brain Boost. We were invited to a Google Developer Summit this week, and we want to tell you that Google thinks mobile applications are dying, and for most businesses, not good investments. While people use mobile apps on average for about 2 hours and 20 minutes a day, almost all of that time is spent in the user's 3 favorite apps. usual suspects like Facebook, Twitter, Pandora, etc. The reality is that less than 1 in every 10,000 apps that is developed has ever been profitable. If you want to see more of the real stats about the app costs and the success rate, visit a link in the description of the video. Getting people to use a mobile app is insanely expensive. In 2016, the founder of Salio, a local marketplace app, publicized that to get an active user on their mobile site, it costs less than 1/10 of what it costs to get somebody to download their app, open it, and use it. Using Salio's numbers, getting 10,000 people to try an app would cost you about $40,000 in marketing costs. Google thinks they have a solution. They're calling them progressive web apps. These are apps that are built on a new mobile development framework called Firebase. And they're calling these progressive web apps because you get an almost identical app-like experience on your mobile browser. Things like push notifications, instant loading, more security than mobile apps, and the same look and feel as a mobile application. If you want to check out a progressive web app that used Firebase and feels like an application even though it's a website, visit Pokedex.org. I'll leave a link in the description of the video, and you'll see that it's totally smooth even though it's a mobile website. The implication for entrepreneurs and smart professionals here is that it might not be a good idea to spend tons of time and energy developing mobile applications. On average, they cost about $140,000 and 4 months to build if you need full features on all platforms. So maybe you can shortcut the whole app world and just get people to use a well-designed mobile website. There are lots of interesting links for you in the description of the video. Now, if you like this video, enroll in our free 25-minute course.
So as you can see, sometimes it's not worth it. And that new progressive web app may be a solution for the future. So very few out there still, but, probably it will grow. So you will get the same sort of experience on this progressive web app than you have on your regular app. And it doesn't cost not even a fraction of what you have to spend for a real application. Then you can do some advertising also, or in-game mobile advertising, because there's games out there that you can place banners like you see here. That's another way to use mobile for advertising, because people are using mobile devices to play games. Sometimes those games are free games online, and they get their money by providing space for advertisers to advertise their product or service there. So it's called in-game mobile marketing. You gotta create some sort of very small banner. When they click on that banner, they'll end up on your website, whatever landing page you create for that particular campaign. So that's what they call in-game mobile. So also, I'm not going to cover this. This is already talked about. QR code. That's another way of doing mobile marketing. So every time that I do any print advertising, I put a QR code there. The QR code, I don't know if you know what it is. If you take your mobile and use a camera and just go over that this square right here with your camera, you can do that even here on the screen. If you take your camera, your phone, put it on camera, over this, then you end up in a landing page that you decide. In this case, the landing page, I'm not sure what it is, but you can have just a test here. Take your phone and see that. And it's always good because on the print, you cannot send people to your website by clicking. So you can put the domain there, but a lot of people they don't have the time. But if you do that, I don't know, maybe you've seen this now, because during the pandemic, most restaurants had on their table QR codes. I just remember that now. And those QR codes, because they didn't want people to see, to have like a print menu to pass from table to table. So they create this QR code, and you'd go with your phone over the QR code, you end up on their website where the menu is. Then it's like, instead of giving you a print menu, It was a virtual menu. It was a smart way to avoid contact and transmission of virus from people to people by using printed menus. I thought it was interesting because in Boston at North End, most restaurants was using that. Sometimes they had the QR code right printed on the table. So mobile marketing, it's all about local marketing. This is where you should concentrate doing local marketing. So 46% of Google search seeks for local information, gas near me, restaurants near me, even if you use voice to get there. So let's talk about geolocation marketing. So 53%, not a lot of people are willing to share their current location information. Like once you subscribe to something or download an application, you always have a question there. If you want to receive notification or not, you make that call. So these are just some metrics. Go over that, nothing important, but as you can see, for example, 62% of consumers share local deals with their friends. So it's a good way to advertise on this. So let's talk about location GPS. That reaches a buyers at the time they're probably ready to buy. So location-based marketing employs mobile ads and notification that target customers within a specific radius of business. That's the key here. It's provided by GPS satellites. So if you have your GPS active on your smartphone, GPS knows exactly where you are, and it gives the advertisers that it tells the advertisers that you are within the radius of where they're advertising. So if you walk in place close to a restaurant, if you subscribe to that advertising, you might get notifications about a deal on that restaurant. But if you have your GPS disabled on your smartphone, companies can still locate you through triangulation of towers, where the towers for signals. So doing some triangulation, they can find exactly where you are. Not as precise as GPS, but it works as well. So usually this is what you do. So geolocation is where you are as a company. So if you are a barbershop and that's your geolocation, then you decide what your geofence is. So the radius of people that you want to reach on your advertise, probably 10 miles will be sufficient. 25, it's probably too much, but between 10 to 25 miles to reach people around that area.
Professor, how the business owner, they have a special service, because how they contact the clients? I mean, if I allow that business to send me notifications.
Yes. Okay. If you have an app, that's easy. You go through your app. But if you don't have an app, but you can use Yelp or other, let's say if you're a restaurant, you can use Yelp to do advertise through them, or Squarespace. So you have to sign up for advertising through them. So you got to have some sort of application to do that. Or you can use like Google also. You can do some advertising on geolocation on Google.
Okay, thank you.
So you can do that. So this is what it is, geolocation and geofence, the difference. Now there is two ways of doing advertising. So on the left side, it's called geofencing. That means everybody that enters in that particular radius that you've decided will get the advertising. Then you have geo-targeting. So that has a second variable there. So you have to be within that radius, but you also have to have a profile that I've defined that I want to target. Let's say I sell only clothes for women, and I want to just advertise women that walks into that radius that I've decided. So I create a profile, and only women will get a notification. Not everybody, just women. So you can do by gender, you can do by interest, there's so many things. The same way you advertise on the social media by interest, you can do it also on geo-targeting. So here you see on Google, you can do some advertising about using like search near me. So these are the factors that are important. So keywords are a factor. So if you do on Google search engine, location is a factor. So this is done on Google. This is some call to actions. So as you can see, sometimes you advertise, if you do on advertising on, you can have the phone number there. Just by putting your finger there, it'll call you. And that's basically all I had for today.